Sentire Media.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to Venice Talks, a podcast series dedicated to Venice in Italy. I'm your host, Monica Cesarato, a Venetian food and travel blogger. Join me as I share my insider knowledge to help you explore Venice at 360 degrees. In this weekly podcast, we'll dive into the heart of a city, uncovering hidden stories and connecting with the people who make Venice unique. The artisans, the writers, the fashion designers, the bloggers, the journalists, and more. Let's break free from cliché and discover the true essence of Venice, not just the monuments, but the vibrant people, the Venetians. Experience Venice the right sustainable way. You can find me on my blog at www.monicacesarato.com and across all social media platforms. Enjoy the episode and let's journey through Venice together. Share your love for Venice on Venice Talks. I am inviting you to be part of the next episodes of Venice Talks. Send me a short audio clip, maximum 2 minutes, telling me what you love about Venice. A memory, a favorite spot, or what makes this city so special to you. Your voice could be featured in the next episode. Send your clip to info@monicacesarato.com or via WhatsApp. I can't wait to hear from you. Season 3, Episode 8. Hi everybody and welcome back to Venice Talks. I've got another beautiful episode here and another great guest. Today I've got Michele Zampedri, CEO of Artigianato Muranese SRL, which is the production branch of Vetreria Artistica Vivarini SRL, and he is as well an historian for Murano glass. Ciao Michele, such a long presentation.
Thank you.
But
Thank you
as
for the
everybody can
presentation.
understand today, the focus is going to be Murano glass, which I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I've been looking for somebody to talk to me about this for a long time. But my problem was that there were a lot of people in Murano, but I didn't want to be unfair to anybody. I just wanted an historian. I didn't want another furnace. So I'm very happy to have you. First of all, Michele, can you tell us about your journey into studying the history of Murano glass?
Well, for me, it was quite easy. I mean, I got a degree in history, so...
Are you from Murano?
Originally, I born in Venice, but when I was a student, in order to earn some pocket money, I started to work as a salesman in a little shop. And the glass, the transparency of the glass, the beauty, the elegancy, is something that fascinated me immediately. And since I'm curious, I'm start to study a little bit this material. First of all, into the technological point of view, I mean, how this is done, how it was done, and answer it to the question of all the clients, the people coming in our store through the years. Consider that I started to work in 1980. So it's
only a few years ago.
It's 45 years that I'm still and I still enjoy. And I want to tell you one secret. I never woke up in the morning saying I have to go to work, but I go working.
Okay, nice.
That's what makes a difference.
They're always saying that if you find a job that doesn't, that makes you want to get up in the morning, you're a happy person.
Yeah, I'm still happy.
Good.
Yeah. And answering to the question of the client, the people coming and visit me, I started to grow up in the history of the glass, shall we say, in this big world of glass. One thing that at the moment I also member of the board of Promo Vetro. Promo Vetro is a consortium that make the reunion of all the glass factory. Is the one that hold the trademark of Murano glass, that release or take off the trademark of Murano.
Michele, you've got no idea how happy you just made me right now by telling me that you're part of Promovetro, because I've been wanting to and trying to interview them for since I started the podcast, and I could never find anybody because they keep saying, no, our English is not good enough. I'm so happy now.
That's quite strange, because for Promovetro I went also in Belgrado to the University of Belgrado to give a seminar of the glass. On Tuesday I will be in Rome to promote the IGP trademark for the glass.
So, you become IGP? Okay.
Yeah, we are trying. So,
okay.
That's a little step.
Okay, so back to Murano glass. It's got such a rich history that, half an hour, I don't know if we're going to make it. And I swear, if we can't and we go over, I'll split into episodes, because it deserves to be talked about. Because there is so much, I think, also. A lot is known, but also a lot is not known. There's a lot of misunderstanding, I think, out there. Okay, there's a lot of misinformations. So first of all, how did it evolve over the centuries? What were the key turning points of Murano glass? What makes it different from all of the other glasses in the world?
Well, we try to fly down through the centuries. The oldest document, and that's a starting point, the oldest document talking about glass in Venice, because the glass art born in Venice, is dated 982. So it's more than 1,000 years we work glass in Venice.
Of course.
Just after the document was the donation of the island and the church of San Giorgio to the Benedictine, and there was a person that signed this document saying naming his job as fiolario. Fiolario means makers of fiole. The fiole are the bottle with a very stretched and long neck. That was used at that time to measure the quantity of the oil, the wine, or some liquid. There you are. So just after that, the art disappeared in document for 200 years. Probably was held by the Benedictine, but they appear in a document describing the parade of the election of the Doge, where there were these glassmakers with special hats to be distinguished by the other art, because. That was the beginning of the art. In fact, in 1271, the Doge released the Mariegola. Mariegola is Madre Regola, mother rule. Okay, that's a sort of constitution of the art. The Repubblica Serenissima used to be very.
They were strict. Everything was divided in guilds.
Very strict to describe how, when they have to start to work, at what time, when they have to finish it, when they have to close the oven, when they have to open.
This was given. This was something that was for every guild, because all the crafts, all the arts, artisans were controlled by the guilds, because that way they could pay a lot.
Exactly. So that means that the art of the glassmaker started to be important.
And recognized as a
for the Repubblica Serenissima. But another landmark, so we can fix it in 1291, when the Doge, the Dukes of Venice, in order to rebuild Venice from the morphological point of view, because it was already done for the political point of view with the constitution that was about that date, 1272. In 1281, decided to send away all the industries, and the most important was in that moment the glassmaker, away from the historical center of the town. There are people saying that the reason was the that's the fire of the
the
furnaces,
danger of fire, of danger of setting fire to the city,
and the wood of the ships, and the house doesn't agree in a certain sense. But from my point of view, was a clever decision to put all the people into the same island, just a pretty big island, Murano. But Murano is not just an island; it's more islands crossed by a grand canal, reproducing something of the morphology of Venice.
Yeah, it's a little Venice, isn't it?
It's a little. That was easy to cross with the ships for the merchandise, for moving the merchandise in the end, and the raw material, of course. So to put every factory in a small place, even if it's big, but in a small place, means to have a sort of exchange of experience, of movements, because the very famous secrets of the glassmaster disappear at 5 o'clock in the osteria after third glass of wine.
I like this one.
Yeah.
After free ombre, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, ombre. So, yeah. But in any case, that is the second landmark.
Okay.
The third one we don't know precisely the date, because an anonymous discovered the puntello. The puntello. What is the puntello? The puntello. Do you know that we work glass with a very long stick, with a long bar in steel, and attached on the steel, the master used to put a little blob, a little quantity of glass. With those little quantity, he was able to hang up the piece that can be a glass or a vase or a bottle from the bottom part, and finish the piece totally handmade. So that's took out the shapes from the mold, because in that period the piece was just blowing and casting in a mold and grounding when it was cold. Okay,
that's how it was done before. So that's the step from doing it as a mold to actually molding it while it's still hot.
Exactly.
Okay.
So from that in the 1300, around 1300, the glass find another definition. The glass work find another definition. Flying hands. So imagine this imaging of the hand flying in the air to form these beautiful things, and from that moment start to grow up. But the glass was always clear, not the color. They were not invented yet, and for that we have to wait. And another very important landmark that is the 1452.
Okay.
50 for one part, from one books, from some books, 52 for some other one. I take the 52.
Okay.
When Paolo da Pergola is a town into the middle east of Italy, in Marche.
Okay.
Precisely. Escape from the Inquisition, because he was an alchemist. And,
an alchemist. Okay.
And he arrived in here. Arriving in Venice, he has got a meeting with Angelo Barovier.
Okay.
That use the sand. But with the sand, we can add something from the alchemical point of view. And this joint venture, pass me the term, between Paolo da Pergola and the glassmaker Barovier, arrived to build up chemical composition. In fact, if you think that the glassmaster is a real alchemist, because
absolutely,
he's the one that is able to change stone to another stone, agate to amethyst, or emerald to another stone. And the color was so appreciated by the market that they start even to make little stony glass. In fact, in early 1500, the Consiglio dei Dieci decided to stop the production of the stony glass because into the market they were not able to recognize.
Exactly. I heard about this because they were so beautiful. They look like stones.
The color was so fascinating. That they like to obtain for example, the green color by adding copper. The blue color by adding cobalt, the green iron,
and they also use some toxic material. But nowadays we can't.
Of course, for the clearness of the glass, they were using a special toxic material. But also now we are using cadmium that we are handling in a very particular way. We need to perform the composition with the special filters.
Well, and that's how Venice became famous, because of the colors, because they were so bright and so different from all the rest of the world. Yes.
In fact, but the challenge was also to reproduce the stone, and that's why they use one very famous composition is to make the milk glass, glass, the lactimo, and the calcedonio, which is very hard. Is an adventure to make. Believe me. We are facing now the problem is a real adventure to make.
Is that Aventurina you're talking about? Yes or not?
No.
Oh, that's another one.
Calcedonio and Aventurina, they are two adventures.
Both of them. Okay.
Both of them. Yeah. Okay. And let's say, starting from that, they finished to discover a new technique, and they passed the 1500, that was the Gilded Age, by reproducing splendid items, also taking ideas from the people in town, like the most important painter, like Veronese, like Bellini, Carpaccio, Tiziano, but also by very important humanists, like the one Pietro Laretino, that was the most important writer in town. Okay, so catching the idea, having this exchange with the beauty, they start to build up very, very beautiful things. If you are present at the wedding at Canas, into the down left position, there is a servant serving wine in one of Murano glass. And Pietro Laretino used to say that those glass was sustained by the column of the Sansovino. That's if you're looking to the stem of the glass, is more or less recall that.
Okay, cool. Wow. Okay. I mean, I know about the history of Murano glass because, of course, I've been reading and stuff, but it's always so fascinating listening to it. Now, another thing that set us apart are the different techniques. So it's not just the colors, but also the techniques that were developed in Murano and now probably are used all over, like the filigrana, the murrine, the glass blowing. So can you go into that a little bit for us?
But the glass blowing is the earliest because we start to make glass by blowing air inside the pipe that was hollow. So
that looks so easy. Looks so easy. I tried it twice, and I. As they do, when they come to your places and say, "Oh, do you want to have a go?" And you go like, "Yeah, let me blow."
The old master used to say that before making one piece, you should burn your hands first.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
so until you have the hands burned, you cannot do anything. But in any case,
And what was fascinating for me talking to the glass masters, they say to me, you're not a glass master until your master tells you you're a glass master.
Yeah.
That is
of course.
so fascinating, you know. In a world where, you know, we just so self-proclaim ourselves to be things, you know. Okay, so sorry if I interrupted you.
Yeah,
Go back to
it. Just after that, the filigree, as I told you, appear during the 1500, is practically a part of milk glass. So the master start by picking up milk glass from the pots, and then overlay with a clear glass. This big blob of glass is stretched by the two people walking in the opposite sense until to form a very thin bar that has got inside the milk glass and outside the clear. Then this very long stick is cut it in the right side for using. I mean, to make a goblet or what else, and then is put it one beside to the other one in a special stone, remelt it into the oven, covered by a layer of crystal, and just clear. And just at that point, we start to blow and give it the shape.
Ah, my God. It's such a, I mean, people don't realize, I really don't think people realize the time it takes to do something with Murano glass. And, you know, why it costs, you know, it should cost a lot of money because it is.
If you figure that to make one glass, we make 24 glasses per day.
Okay.
So 20 minutes to make one glass.
Yeah. So, and wait,
there are three people working on it. They are the ovens, they are the materials, they are the.
And you put it in the oven, and you never know if it's going to come out. That's the problem.
Exactly. So can change, can break or during the annealing process, because as soon as the piece is finished, it's not finished yet.
Exactly.
We need to put in a special oven. What that is the annealing oven to cool down temperature in 1836 hours according with the thickness.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. First of all, what's the temperature of a Murano glass oven? They tell me between 800 to 1000. Am I right?
It's to milk glass. We arrive to 1300.
Oh, bye. Okay, right. Okay.
So they are not even allowed to make a pizza, which is a great pity.
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, I can imagine that in winter, that's fine, but in summer?
In summer, I try to measure the temperature around the area. We arrive around 60 degrees centigrade.
And what's amazing, I see all these masters working around, and they got long trousers and long sleeves because, of course, otherwise you get burnt and stuff.
To protect from the burn.
Yeah, of course. But I can imagine it's 60 degrees and you also got to wear clothing. Oh my God. I mean, wow. And then after you put in the oven and when you open, you hope the piece of glass is still in one piece. We
don't hope because let's say that there is a small percentage of pieces that so the experience of the glass master knows everything. That generally accidents because if during the making process you keep out the piece from the oven for a few seconds more, it can have some problem because the glass, when it's even when it's solid, is a liquid because there are molecules moving inside.
Of course. But somebody was saying to me that usually you have a problem of that it might crack or when they try maybe a new design, something new that they haven't done before, so they don't know how it's going to react. You know,
prototype need a bigger force and a big investment.
Of course,
no doubt about. Unless you don't mix to make an object, you don't mix the technique that you know perfectly and the shapes that you know perfectly. But when you make a new prototype, that can be some problem, yes.
And a glassmaster once told me that you can understand if somebody is very good on how fast he can make a little horse. Is that true?
No. They are the most important glassmaster that they are not able to make that little huge horse.
Really?
That there is the demonstration. Yeah.
Really?
Because every master has got his own specialization. I mean, there were just one master that was so eclectic to make a chandelier as well as vases or sculpture or huge representation of human bodies of what else. That was Pino Signoretto. That
of course.
Unfortunately passed away
the
in
greatest.
2017.
But that was his brother that told me that about it.
It
was Giancarlo that said to me about the glass.
Giancarlo is another talentful glassmaster.
And then he said to me, you can know if somebody's good if it takes less. I cannot remember. I think it was less than 5 minutes or something like that. I don't know. He told me something once. I remember.
Well, I can tell you that every piece they make, they have got his own story. I mean,
of course.
After 45 years that I'm doing this job, I can tell you that I can see the empathy of the glassmaster between the humor that you woke up in the morning with the glass. And especially talking about prototype and new piece, it is beautiful to watch the eyes of the master when you are explaining him the new idea.
Yes.
Because if you have the capacity to look very carefully inside his own eyes, you can see the piece growing.
Yes. And probably over little rotelline, what you call it, the wheels in the head going, how can I achieve that? Can that be done?
So you can see in his own face the piece growing.
So talking about this, how I know that, for example, one key role that Murano Glass has had that is glassmasters have collaborated for centuries with artists, above all now as well with the modern artists. How has Murano Glass influenced contemporary art and design?
Well, I can tell you that in the recent past, let's say starting from the 50s, I can tell you, that appeared in Murano a new figure of the artist of the glass. That's sometimes is the same glassmaster, some other time not. Because there are people that spend a life with glass that decide to design the piece and let's execute it to another glassmaster, freelance or what else. I remind the collaboration between Livio Seguso and which is a glass artist at the moment that starts as a glassmaster, but is universally recognized as a glass artist, like Lino Tagliapietra, for example, another amazing glassmaster that I saw him working when he was 85.
I know. He's amazing. He's an amazing person.
So the influence, such as the Fratelli Ferro, the influence start to be strong, but it's not a great past. I mean, unless you don't consider the collaboration, for example, with the painter during the 15th century, 16th century, that realized some pieces in glass for. So realize painted some pieces in glass, and the master realized it in glass.
Okay, so
like the goblet I was mentioning before.
So it was more like, let's say, after the Second World War, maybe, that we had this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I know.
Even because our culture for glass has never been. Never approached the sculpture, the solid piece. We spent 1,000 years by blowing glass. So
yes,
yeah,
I think the greatest way to see this collaboration is to go when they have a beautiful exhibition where they go a Stanze del Vetro. And then you get to see these amazing collaborations with, these designers and the artists.
But also our factory has got collaboration with artists like Yoko Ono.
Wow! I didn't know that.
Ugo Nespolo, Armand, make all the violins for Armand. And recently, with John Armleder, realized under his own design, one chandelier 10 meter high and 2 meter width. For the Credit Suisse, we were the company involved on the wall of John Armleder that he presented to the Guggenheim Museum in 2018, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, it must be amazing when a designer comes. I mean, it comes with some crazy pot idea. I'd say, I would like to vein glass.
Yeah. That's the way we use it is we need to approach slowly, because we know the possibility and the limit of the glass, because of course there is possibility and limits. So when an artist comes with an idea, start the mediation between the two subjects until to arrive to make a prototype.
Also, because it's not, I don't think it's only a question of can it be done or cannot be done. It's also a question of costs, because Murano glass, as we were saying before, we saw it during COVID, how hard it was for Murano to stay alive because of the cost of running, because people don't realize that the ovens
I can give you
24 hours a day, right?
Yeah, I can give you some number.
Go, please do.
So let's figure for a layout of 2 ovens and one annealing oven.
And we're talking about this will be the basic for a small furnace.
Exactly. Until September 2021, we pay 5,000 euro per month of gas.
Just on gas. Let's not talk about everything else, because then you need the material, electricity, blah, blah, blah.
Just after that, with the gas crisis, in September 2022, we are to pay 53,000 euro per glass.
Wow.
Wow is the correct word, yes.
Yeah, I mean, people don't realize.
So of course, our government, luckily and thanking God, help us in some way.
But still.
But there was a great risk to close all the ovens. And
of course, and many did. Many furnaces actually did.
Of course.
And I think this also brings it down to one question where people keep. First of all, how important it is to have a trademark and for people to buy only real Murano glass. But apart from that, okay, that's a given. But also the difference that people should understand that this, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that the furnaces cannot live only on designer and expensive pieces. You need to make also the small stuff that needs to be sold. So what we call artisan and what we call artist. Same place of production, but you need to be able to survive. Otherwise, if you were only selling expensive stuff, you're not going to be able. It's not sustainable, is it? For a furnace.
Yes, of course, you can balance the two different production, commercial and artistic.
Should.
Yeah, of course, the commercial stuff help us to produce the artistic items. The artistic items you can sell better than the commercial stuff, because something that you reproduce in 1,000 has not the same cost that something that you reproduce in a limited edition.
But it's still we're still talking about handmade. We're not talking about made with a machine.
Of course. In fact, if people buy a little bird and say that costs X, then how much do you can make me if I buy 100? One multiply for 100, because you make one by one.
It's exactly the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same time. It's not like you change the time and everything. And I think it should be clear on people and understanding. Oh, one thing that I wanted to ask you, because I think this is the question everybody asks me. How do I know if it's real Murano when I see something?
With a joke, I can tell starting from the price. If his eyes,
that's the first thing I tell them as well. Yes,
because
of course.
Murano has always been destined to the certain class of people. Murano doesn't make any cheap stuff. So if you buy in a little shop something for €10, be sure that it's not a Murano glass.
Exactly. Okay.
But nevertheless, there is to guarantee the trademark of Murano. Every piece coming out from our factory has got a sticker that is not removable with a QR code. With a QR code that can identify the producer.
And also you can see if it's made by hand, and this goes for everything made by hand, not just Murano glass. I always say take two pieces that are the same. If there is a defect, then you know that is handmade. If it is the same defect on both, then it's a machine. Simple as that.
So in fact, little defect belong to the human race.
And it should be. It should be.
We are not perfect. And so sometimes people need to accept the little flaws, because there were a factory calling Corning in New York that used to make glass, fantastic glass, but the production was done by making a design. The scanner decide the right quantity of glass to use, that fall in a mold that is pressed to take off all the air bubbles. But by goodness, from my point of view, that we are losing the sense of the handmade product.
What's the point? The point is having something handmade is because you can see that it's handmade. Of course. Sometimes people. Anyway, in your opinion, what challenges do Murano glassmakers face today? How do you see the future of the craft of Murano glass?
The biggest problem that we are facing now is people working. We lost completely a generation. Because the old glassmaster used to dream that his son gets degrees, become doctor, lawyer, or what else.
Of course.
And that is the human. But even because I remember my mother, when I was a child, used to repeat me, if you don't want to study, you go working in Murano. So as a punishing.
You end up to do
but
it.
now, right now, there is another concept of the artisan. I mean, from my point of view, it's not wrong that even people that has got some degrees in architectural design start to come in here and burn their own hand. So, in fact, my dream is a collaboration between the University of Ca' Foscari, the University of UAV, the Academy of the Fine Art in Venice, to have a collaboration to form new people that face this material, that come to our factory, to the factory in Murano, and learn the possibility and the limit that has got this sensational material. Because every artist, finishing.
Go.
Every artist used to search the light inside in his own opera, and with the glass, the light is inside the material, so we don't have to look at it.
But do you think the new generations are willing to put in the time that it takes to become a glassmaster? Because every single glassmaster I've spoken to said to me they started when they were little kids. They were working 14, 15, 16 hours a day, non-stop, from zero. Do you think the kids of today would be willing to do something like that?
I can tell that this step at the moment should be helped by the public institution. So public institutions need to invest if they want to preserve this art, because if they don't want it, finish it. So we can do with his own until we have people. Imagine that it's 2 years that I'm searching for a new helper of the grandmaster, and I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, I keep hearing this from everybody in Murano that you're looking for like a school or something, but a proper school.
But
We're not talking I'm talking about proper school.
There is a school that right now news of 10, 15 days. Next year is going to close because there are no people coming.
That's what I'm saying.
But in any case, from my point of view, recalling the long talk speech we have with the glassmaster, with the old glassmaster, the unique way to form people is create by the public institution, one, not a school, but the furnace, to create a furnace. Because when, as I told you, and I repeat it, they need to get experience, to touch the glass, to touch the pipe, to hold the pipe, to keep the balance of the glass. So otherwise, they don't. It's something that you cannot learn in a book.
Yeah. Oh, no, I totally agree on that. And what about if there were two things? One, women or
women,
not?
Women, they are. That's the good news. Women generally they are not coming on. But in this last 10 years, there are even women.
And do you think? There
are a few women.
Yeah, but do you think glassmasters are ready to accept that, as women, maybe we could?
I was telling that until 10 years ago, when they used to make me this question, I used to say that the women are not coming because there is just one shower.
That's not. That is so sexist.
Yes, yeah. And now, but it was the only answer that.
Of course,
but you can find it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. But right now we are building shower for that because they are coming. They are coming.
Okay,
that's good. They are coming.
What about?
There is also one American artist, Alexis. I don't know but in any case, that makes huge and beautiful glass sculpture here in Murano. She's an artist and she's a glassmaster.
But there is also Agnese that helps.
Agnese Tegon. That's another one. That is another one. Is not as known as the Alexis, but
she's getting
to be
there.
known.
Exactly. She's getting there. Well, she's doing the proper apprenticeship, let's say, as it should be. What about foreign people? Do you think we are ready to accept foreign people as masters? Or at least to train as masters?
The globalization doesn't have any more limit. We can accept any person that come to work glass, but here in Murano, because we need to sustain.
Yeah, of course. No. I'm talking about. I wasn't talking about people coming and leaving. I'm talking about people coming and becoming do their apprenticeship, how long as it takes, 10, 20 years, whatever it takes.
Then eventually... I'm not taking care of the race or coming from no.
Well,
religion.
Okay.
I mean,
Michele, I'm asking because obviously until 30 years ago, this kind of question, I could even ask this kind of question because it was obvious that in Murano, if you were a woman or if you weren't from Murano, you will never make it. Okay. Because that was the way it was. I mean, because obviously, there are trade secrets. I mean, the glassmaster has got his secrets. I mean, do they still keep the little books like they used to? Or not?
Yeah, no.
That's anymore.
That's it. You bring it to any laboratory. I mean, you crack a little piece of glass and you are able to know the composition in a few seconds.
Okay.
Well, they are no more. The secret they were into the way of making the piece. We call volta. So, I mean, the way to build the piece.
But it's a skill that you acquire only by looking.
But there are artists of glass all over the world now.
Yes.
The point is, they are using, they are called glass masters, they are called glass artists, but they are using the technique and technology learned here in Murano. Because this one here is the main school. This one here is where everything grows, and it's still growing. And they are still growing. That's why it's very important to enter into the mood that is the glass art is not anymore just a business, but it's culture, it's tradition.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm bringing you to the next question then. What's the importance of preserving Murano glass heritage and the role of museums and the academic institution? I mean, do you see an effort being made, or could they do more?
Not yet. An effort there always be, but not anymore proportionate to the moment we are facing now. Think of one thing. I always take this example: Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley became Silicon Valley because there were a couple of people in a garage making the history of the contemporary economy, but supported and supplied by banks, government, states, what else? Murano, as Murano, because it was founded by the Doges, but the Doge never forget this this art. First of all, because it was always a business for.
But Murano was treated completely different from all the others. They had their own rules and everything.
Yes. Because into the century, Murano people, the glassmaster, were able to marry also the VIP people in Venice.
Exactly.
And Murano has got the possibility to make his own money, his own currency. His own currency also. But that means that the Repubblica, the state, the government has always involving in a growing of this little island, in the growing of technology, technique, material, preserving master. They touch everything. So now we need to recreate that age if we want to preserve this art. That's from my point of view, it is so important because there are still people from all over the world, thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming to visit to see the glass art that we want to preserve. I used to say that Murano is an island with the two faces. One from 9 to 5, or 1 from 5 to
it's
midnight.
True. It's true. It's completely different.
Completely different.
Murano at nighttime. I mean, I'm fortunate because I got friends, so every so often I come and I stay for the night, whatever. And it is another thing. It is totally another world all of a sudden. And like it is completely different Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday. It's another story again, you know. So the last question. Are there any misconceptions about Murano glass that you would like to address?
No. I still do prefer to think that Murano is unique, and I keep. I don't need to compare with any place else from my point of view. My message is always one: come and make glass in Murano.
Yes. Try.
That is when my company finished the COVID period in past, because COVID was terrible for us because we were obliged to stop it because
of course
we passed the stick mouth by mouth.
Of course.
So there were no way to work a glass. The first thing the master want to realize, and I still have got the goosebump of thinking about that, was a phoenix.
Okay.
A phoenix, the bird, huge bird in glass representing the phoenix with the fire underneath, with the lights in red and red color. That was a great message. We are here to start again.
Yeah. It is amazing. So listen, I mean, I had the pleasure to come into your beautiful to a furnace and a workshop and everything. But where can people find you, and both in Murano, on social medias, and the website as well? So when we covered it.
Into the social media, in Murano, we are in Fondamenta Serenella, so practically
2 seconds from Colonna.
Yeah, exactly. Passing with the evaporator, you will see that the big red building, saying a capital letter Vivarini. Vivarini is the name of the painter born in Murano during the 15th century. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
the social media, the social, we can find us in the Facebook and Instagram generally.
As Vivarini.
As Vivarini.
Okay, and the website is www.vivarini.com or something like that?
.it.
.it. Okay. .it. Well, listen, Michele, gosh, I could ask you another 20 questions, because I mean,
we are talking. So it's 1 hour.
I know.
Half an hour.
I know. But I got to say, I mean, I'm not from Murano, I'm not from Venice, but obviously I work in Venice, and I've discovered Murano, let's say, in the last 10 years. Okay, thanks to to what I do, and I had I got to say, the honor and the pleasure to interview various masters, not just the glass masters, people that work with, the people that create the tools for the glass masters, the people that, I fratelli ferro that do the molding of the things, and the bead makers, and you name it. And it always fascinates me. The only thing I never understood is why all of these people don't just stand all together instead of fighting each other in Murano. Okay, fight for Murano.
That is an endemic illness.
My God, I think that is the biggest, the only problem on Murano. But all these people, they are all saying the same thing. But amazingly,
into the very end, that is not true. I mean, stupid people, they are into the glassmakers or in every field of our generation. I still do prefer that I know some real men, real gentlemen of the glass.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, everybody is saying the same thing, that they want to preserve, that they want to do this, but they are not able to get together. And I think it's sad, because and it's really funny, because who says this is not us. We're not from Murano. That's the point.
I can tell you that in Promo Vetro, the president Luciano Gambaro or any member of the board is fighting every day. Trying to find the solution. As soon as I finish here the interview, I'm going to start to write my idea on the new glass school that should start soon.
Okay.
And in every contest, I will be able to fight for my idea, but as I told you, the fight will be just with the public institution. That's into the 99% of the case, they are always convinced by us.
I know, that is the plague of Venice. The institutions in Venice, unfortunately, is our problem. But keep us posted, because this is something that I know other people in Murano were telling me were really wanted. So it will be finally nice to see something like that coming out. That I think it really is needed. Well, you know what? We needed some big investors from abroad to say, do you want some money? You want some money?
That will be appreciated.
Yeah. And then, as soon as they say that they give us money, you see that the city of Venice will soon come along, because it's always like that. Okay, Michele, thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. Thank you for all the beautiful things you said. Thanks again. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you so much, Michele, for the wonderful talk about Murano glass. You can find Michele and all of information about Murano glass at Vetteria Artistica Vivarini at www.vivarini.it. Thank you again for listening. Venice Talks podcast is a production of Sentire Media, created, produced and hosted by me, Monica Cesarato. Follow Venice Talks wherever you get your podcast, and if you want to book a food tour or a cooking experience with me, you can find me over at www.monicacesarato.com and on all social medias with the handle at Monica Cesarato, where you can follow my adventures around Venice. And don't forget, if you love this episode, please rate it and leave a review. It's very much appreciated.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.